Hi, Monica from More Nourishing Life for this week's email that I'm doing via video because I have a bunch of new followers. So I always think it's great to put a face to some faceless words on a page. Also, we live in a very visual world. And while I'm so not entirely comfortable with this medium, I think it's really important to connect in this way because in the absence of being able to do it in real life, it's really important we find ways to connect. And I am going to be reading my email for you today, but I'm also only going to do it in one take because I've got a schedule to keep to. So this week's email, it's a little bit of a rant, but it doesn't come with a warning label. It's fine. Here we go. Do you know what I love right now? While many of us are so hot right now in midlife, take that as you will, I love that midlife, or as I heard it referred to the other day as the halftime show, it's also hot on the world stage. It's becoming easier to find better, well researched information about women's hormonal health. And it's about time too. So, as you can see, I am no spring chicken. I've had a life that has encompassed many different experiences and am currently at a major intersection. The world is so noisy with tons of information and lots of great advice. It's really important to find connections with those who have been or are walking the path with us and with whom we can trust, resonate, and as Patti Smith says, that are transformational, not just transactional. Moving through any time of life is important to be considering, but particularly these transitional times, who and what we seek for answers and support to be more at ease with what we've got going on. The things that have helped me be adaptable and cope are really practical tools. I have a whole bunch that cost me nothing but time and attention that help me feel nurtured. They build confidence and resilience. And they're like muscles because every time we use them, we build our capacity. And if we don't, things just atrophy. I always use techniques that have science and research to support their value. But what I know is that knowing ourselves helps us understand ourselves, which helps us make better decisions for ourselves. Knowing how our self-talk shapes our thoughts and behaviors, and knowing the critical role of the gut-brain axis and the food and the benefits of a balanced gut microbiome helps us to make good food choices. Knowing what we need, what we like, what works helps to build healthy habits for sustainable physical, mental, and emotional well-being. But something that is really being skimmed over or totally left out of the current whole midlife narrative is this emotional and mental well-being. Knowing how hormones impact our health is super important. Find a good doctor, do your own research, and I'll put some links below to people doing really good stuff in regards to hormone health. But the thing that will determine a healthy nervous system is separate to HRT. I've been working in this area for many years, and I know that managing our mental and emotional well-being is really tough in the world we live in. It determines how we move in our world and is so important. So I'm going to jump right in here and say that the commodification of our health and well-being really does my head in. We have been in this no man's land because historically we've been completely ignored. And now the world sees a new market for things to sell us. At a time in our lives where we are vulnerable and seeking relief and support, let me suggest that the things that are going to give us what we need cannot always be bought, cannot be manufactured, and do not come in a bottle. The things that the things that will have to come from us. They are inherent. In the past, we've been so disempowered and have been sold a narrative that diminishes and tells us that midlife is a crisis. There's been no reliable research or sources of information. In fact, a lot of the medical research around midlife was done on small, old men. Seriously. Many women I speak to feel like their bodies are rejecting them. They don't like themselves, trust themselves, or appreciate the wisdom they've accumulated, and so find things to fill the void. We're not going to find what we need in our Shopify baskets. That only holds a thimbleful of dopamine. But we all get sucked into what's shiny and offering us hope. Look, I am all for a bit of retail therapy. Actually, no, I'm not, because I'm a terrible shopper, but I do appreciate the value of having a nice new outfit to make me feel good. But unless we do the inner work and use other things just as they're called a supplement, we're only applying a band-aid. It won't be sustainable and will only make us feel better for just a little bit. Building strong internal foundations gives us fortitude and a robustness to face the world. It's not an easy task and it's not a quick fix. And the real kicker is that we have to keep attending to it. But the bonus is that the rewards are great and expand into all areas of our life. They're sustainable and build agency for ourselves. These are not products. These are the things that no supplement, no creams, no lubricants, no makeup can give us. We often fall into the assumption that others know us better than we know ourselves. Seeing women abandon themselves really makes me cranky. We are often looking outside of ourselves for answers. Building an intimate relationship with ourselves can be confronting, but knowing our individual needs and wants gives access to a richness in and for life. You are capable beyond what you believe and what you've been told. Do I need to repeat that? Recently, in my Instagram feed, popped up these two lovely young 25-year-olds telling me that it's tough in midlife, that to feel better, we need to have their protein powder developed by then to support women like us. But wait, there's more. It comes with a branded shaker. Gosh, I feel better already. Look, I don't want to bust anybody's bubble that wants to get out there and have a go at making some money. But really, managing midlife is not as simple as chugging down a protein shake. Our well-being shouldn't be for sale to the bidder who can provide the best sales pitch to our insecurities. And taking advice from a 25-year-old, look, maybe to keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening in the current music scene, but not for my hormonal health. Find your community, engage with people who know, who truly understand and provide real support. We don't go to an orthopedic surgeon if we have an eye issue. We are standing on a precipice, and we owe it to ourselves to be discerning who we listen to and who we take our advice from. Look, I'm not saying that I am it for you. There are so many people doing so many great things out there to support, engage, and educate. Find the people you resonate with. But I can say hand on heart, I've been around for a while, I've been doing this for a while, and I am in this with you. It's really important for me to help myself, and hopefully some of you have benefited from my work in the past. Until we do the work to come back home to ourselves, not take some supplement or just do a happy dance that we've learned on TikTok or Instagram, unless we do the good inner work, we won't feel better about moving forward into the next chapter of our life. You are your own lifeline. You have your own life vest inside of you. Doing the inner work for robust inner emotional well-being doesn't mean everything is going to be okay all of the time. But what it does mean is that when push comes to shove and you need to pull the ripcord, you'll know that you will float. So take it easy. We don't have to have everything sorted out today. I always try and do just one or two things that's going to upgrade my well-being every day. And I try and go for a walk every day, but sometimes that's all that I do. So I've had a tough few years, and these practices, along with my family and all my beautiful friends, are the things that keep me steady. It's in community, we get better together. So that's it for this week, and I made it through without too many stumbles. Go and have a great week, and I'll be back next week. Look after yourselves. Bye now.